Hey y'all, spiritual whistleblower here with a video. Since this is April and April is Autism Awareness Month, and I am newly diagnosed with Asperger's. I'm on the spectrum. I am autistic. I'm going to do a quick video in response. A lot of people have asked me what are some of the traits, some of the things that I battle with, as a result of my autism. So I'll share some of those things in this video. Some things, I've been doing since childhood. Some things I've developed as of recently, but all in all, I confirmed this with my psychologist, when we were screening me. We sat for a couple hours. Not only did he, my psychologist give me a bunch of tests, he also was analyzing my body language and everything. During the interview, he was just analyzing everything, how I sat, how I'll get into that in the video. Before I talk about my autistic traits in honor of Autism Awareness Month, I want to let y'all know that I will be in Toronto, Canada. I'm having a workshop on narcissistic abuse recovery. I would love to see all my Toronto people in the building. The location is private. Once you purchase your ticket, I will email you the address. To give you an idea of where the private event will be, it is downtown, I guess, Old Toronto. It's in the proximity. It's near the CN Tower. I will tell you guys that just so you can have an idea. So purchase tickets by going to Eventbrite. The link is down below for tickets. I am also going to be doing a meet and greet in Boston, Massachusetts on Thursday, June 5th. And then I'm going to Connecticut. I forgot what part of Connecticut. That's another thing with autism. The brain just be scrambled, y'all. My thoughts be scrambling and racing through my head so fast, I can't just stop and think and blurt out what I'm thinking because it's just so much going on up here. I'll be in Connecticut on Sunday, June 8th. Tickets are pinned in the comment section. It's the link tree. Click on link tree and you'll see the selection: Toronto, Boston, and Connecticut. Stamford, Connecticut. There it goes. Oh my God. I could not think of Stamford to save my life. I will be in Stamford, Connecticut on Sunday, June 8th. Tickets down below. All right. So let's get into autism. What are some of the weird things that I do that make me autistic? So I can say since childhood, I have been notorious for cracking my knuckles. And I mean, seriously, a very, very bad habit. I mean, since early childhood, and I do it every single, I cannot get through a day without cracking my knuckles. It's like one of the first things I do in the morning. And if I don't do it, I will not feel any relief. So, Doc told me that any form of cracking your knuckles, messing with your fingers, your fingernails, which I do. I have an obsession with just maybe that's too much information. Let's just say I mess with my fingers and my nails. Okay. But cracking my knuckles, I've had family members, both sides of family, mom's side and dad's side, family members tell me, Chanel, well, they would call me Shell. My nickname is Shell. Stop cracking your knuckles. You're going to have big hands, big fingers, big knuckles if you don't stop. Well, I'm here to tell y'all that's a lie. That's a myth. I've been cracking my knuckles damn near all my life. I will be 50 years old this year. Okay. I'm 49 years old. I crack my knuckles every damn day and my fingers are just as ladylike and I don't have big knuckles. I have very thin ladylike feminine fingers. Okay. So that's a goddamn lie that my family, would put in my head. And at the time, I guess they all did not realize that that's why, I'm autistic. That's a trait of autism when a child is constantly messing with their hands, their fingers, cracking knuckles, also with their toes and their feet. I have this thing where, I'm always moving my toes around, I don't know if that sounds right, you guys. Why does it sound so weird? Anyway, another thing that I did, and I also believe my brother's autistic. I haven't talked to my brother in years, but I honestly believe, me and him grew up, we were close, growing up together, and I could see a lot of the things I did, he did. I think my baby brother is autistic as well. But me and him both would walk on our toes. And a lot of people would ask us. I remember when we went to high school together, I was one grade ahead of him in high school. And there'd be kids, when me and him be walking, me and my brother walk together, like in the hallways, like the kids would ask us, why do you and your brother walk on your tippy toes? And I'm like, what are you talking about? We don't walk on our toes. They said, yes, y'all do. Y'all both walk on your tippy toes. And I never paid it no mind, but come to find out, that is a sign of autism. Children that walk on their tippy toes, autistic, absolutely. Y'all just don't understand. Since I have learned of my diagnosis, everything from my childhood, oh baby, the dots are connecting. All the weird shit that I used to do is making sense now. All the shit that I got beat for, my mother whooped my ass, beat my brother. My brother would, he would stare, because I know autistic children, sometimes would like to stare off into space. My brother used to do that shit. We get beat for all types of shit like that. Whole time kid is autistic. That's what makes the shit sad. This is, I've been going through highs and lows. My emotions are all over the place because, the things that I got beat for, me and my brother, it's just like me being slow and talking slow and moving slow. Even my hygiene. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. My hygiene as a little girl was not up to par. All that is directly connected to autism. I got beat. Hell fucking yes. So, walking on tippy toes, me and my brother. I hope my brother gets evaluated. I know he has autism. My brother's autistic. I pray he gets evaluated. I don't give a fuck about my sister. She's such a piece of shit, a piece of trash, because she blindly follows behind my mother, and she doesn't realize, she's just like my mother. I don't respect my sister. She doesn't have a brain of her own, and she doesn't have her own identity outside of my mother. So I fuck her. My baby brother, on the other hand, I feel he's 100% autistic, and I hope he gets, evaluated. What else are the things that I do? I have a sensitivity to clothing, fabrics. I cannot stand tags in the back of my shirts and in my pants. And that's been lifelong. Since I was a child, I cut out the tags out of all my clothes. I cannot stand anything rubbing my skin, like a tag or a zipper or a button, a pebble in my shoe. If I use the bathroom, if I go to use the toilet, and this may be too much information, but what I'm noticing is that when I talk about these things, other people come forward and they say, oh my God, I thought it was just me. Oh, I see, I'm not alone. So I'm gonna go ahead and share with y'all, okay? Whenever I have to use the toilet, whether it be number 1 or number 2, I have to strip out of my clothes. I have to be completely naked. I've been doing that since I was a little girl. I do it today, and I did it 45, 50 years ago. I cannot stand the feel of clothing on my body while I'm using the toilet. And that is a sensory issue, and that is also connected to autism. And I did research on it, and I found out I am not the only one that does this, strips their clothes, okay? Also, too, like, a lot of people ask me or say to me, spiritual whistleblower, you're so pretty, but, we love when you get dressed up, you put on makeup, you do your hair and stuff, and you get all pretty and stuff. Yeah, it's nice, but what a lot of people don't realize is I hate it. I dress up and I go out to treat myself out. I like to take myself to 5-star dinners here in New York. There's 1,000,001 places to eat in New York. I'm always going out. I love treating myself. And occasionally I will put on makeup, wig, dress really pretty. But what y'all don't know, I hate it. I don't hate the experience of going out. I hate how the clothes, the wig, and the makeup, it makes me feel itchy. I want to rip it off. I don't like how the wig feels. I hate how the makeup, the lashes feel. I want to, once I go out to eat, I'm sitting there eating, and the thing that's popping in my brain is I can't wait to go home and take my makeup off. I can't wait to go home and take this wig off. I can't wait to go home and take my clothes off. I hate how everything feels on my body. So I have sensory issues. Even if I go to get my nails done, acrylic nails, I might be able to wear those nails 1 or 2 days. By the third or fourth day, I'm picking the nails off. Yes, a fresh set that I didn't pay $50, $60 for, a gel set, I will pick them off because I don't like how the acrylic feels on my nails. Absolutely disgusting. That's my autism. Okay. So things, I'm super sensitive to things touching me, rubbing against me, and I wear the same fucking clothes every day. I love the bonnet. I love my t-shirts and my sweats and my hoodies. Cotton. I am pro cotton. I loved wearing I wear the same fucking clothes every goddamn day. And, autistic children, people, even adults, we do not like to break routine. We follow routine strictly every fucking day. And my routine is getting up and putting on my hoodie, my sweats, my turban. I don't want to be wearing makeup. I don't feel like I got to dress up for no fucking body. I don't want to please a man. I ain't trying to get a man. I'm not trying to get male validation. I'm in these streets being me, keeping it real. And whenever I see, my supporters, like you guys, if anybody runs up on me in the streets, whether I'm in New York or I'm in Cali, Las Vegas, wherever, you run up on me, I'm going to be the realest bitch ever, dressed like this. I'm going to give you hugs and love on the spot. I will never be bougie and funny acting. I am so down to earth. And this is my comfort zone. This was makes me happy. So this is my autism. I've always, felt weird about dressing up and dressing pretty. I've even had people think that I was gay. I'm not gay, honey. I've never slept with a woman, let alone kissed a woman in the mouth. I'm not gay. I remember being in high school and my mother flat out said, "Are you a lesbian?" Because I was wearing baggy jeans and a baggy. Back in the day in the 90s, y'all remember cross colors and stuff? We wore baggy clothes and stuff like that. TLC and all the girl groups, they dressed in baggy clothes and baggy jeans. Doesn't mean you're a fucking lesbian. My God. But I realize now I'm about comfort, honey. Don't get it twisted. I will dress up. My closet is full of beautiful clothes. I have beautiful stilettos. Honey, I can get dressed up and pop out, but my preference is this. But I do remember too, I had an issue with my hygiene, in my preteens, which I got beat for, not brushing my teeth, which I found out is very common with autistic children, not brushing their teeth. It's a habit, a habitual thing of autistic children. I remember I got abused for that. My mother used to take my toothbrush and make me put my hands down by my side, and she would scour my teeth till my gums bled. I'd be crying, and she would hold my head still, and she'd just scour, and I'd be screaming and crying, and my mouth was full of blood. She did that to torture me. And I hope she feels like shit today because, research it, you guys. If you think I'm lying, autistic children do not brush their teeth. That's one of their habits, poor hygiene. Okay. It's not that they deliberately want to go around stinking or whatever. It's just, we're slow to processing things. We're slow to, picking up social cues and commands and stuff. I was slow. I absolutely was slow. Absolutely 100%. And I got fucking beat for it. What are some other things? Textures and food. I have a habit of eating the same things. I will try things occasionally, but I am stuck on what I like. And right now, big on pasta. I just like the way that pasta feels in my mouth versus the taste. Lasagna, again, it's the noodle. I have an obsession with noodles. Okay. Thai. I love drunk man noodle. If you're familiar with Thai food, I will not order anything else off the fucking menu except drunk man noodle. The noodle is so thin and it's so wavy and I just love how it's not even a taste, y'all. It's not, it tastes good. It's delicious. I order the beef flavor. I don't get any other flavor but beef. But for me, it's something about the texture of the noodle. And it's the same feeling that I get like dopamine when I'm eating lasagna or pasta. I love noodles. I have a fascination with how pasta feels on my tongue. That's my autism. Okay. What else do I do that's fucking weird? Social anxiety. I know you guys see me in my dance videos. I actually go to dance parties, and because of my social anxiety, I cannot dance in a room full of people but for so long. Unless it's house music. Let me take that back. House music is a bit different. If I go to an underground house party, soulful house music, here in New York, house parties, they can go on all night, 12 hours straight. So what I will do in a room full of people is I'll go to the nearest corner. I'll stand in front of a giant speaker and I'll dance like there's nobody in the room. Like I tune everybody out and I get into the music. Otherwise, all the other parties I go to, I might go to a hustle party, or if I go to dance Brazilian zouk, I go to a zouk party. I can only stay but for so long because I can't handle. It just feels like the whole room, everybody is staring at me. That's how bad my social anxiety is. I cannot be around a group of large people, large groups of people, but for so long, I get tremendous anxiety and I have to leave. It feels like I'm being analyzed, if that makes sense. But that's some of the things. I'm trying to think some of the other things that I do. Sensitivity to light. And thank God at my job, my day job, my 9 to 5, I have such an amazing boss. And I have my own office. So when I go into work and I unlock the door to my office, everything is dim. I have my office space set up like a zen. I have green plants everywhere. It's a very calm and relaxing atmosphere. And I have butterflies pinned around, so it feels surreal. But I have a giant window in my office. So right across, if you look out the window in my office, it's trees and woods. I might see deer, I might see geese and turkeys, but it's in ducks, it's wildlife. So it's nothing but greenery and woods and grass, and it's just peaceful to look at. But I have a sensory for lights. Everything in my office, I do not turn on the big light in my office. The bright light hurts my eyes. I have a very dim lamp on my desk, a very soft lamp, pink light bulb, very dim, calm. When I turn on my computer, everything is set to dark mode. I cannot stand to read my emails with the white background. Everything is dark. All my emails, the color is black. Black background. My cell phone is set to dark mode. My TikTok, dark mode. My Instagram, dark mode. I cannot read stuff that's bright and white. It drives me insane. Okay. So I have a sensitivity to bright lights. That's my autism. What else? What else? I'm trying to think, guys. I'm going to enroll soon in speech therapy because I always thought it was just me. But now that I know that I'm autistic, I have a slight speech impediment. And I believe this could have been fixed in childhood had my parents put me in speech therapy. Let me tell you something. My daughter has ADHD. And they saw it in her at 2 years old, and I wasted no time. I immediately, whatever they, suggested that I do for my daughter, I had my daughter at 2 years old. She was in speech therapy. I had her in recreational therapy, and I had her in occupational therapy. I did not waste no time. I wanted my baby to get help so she could talk and pronunciate her words and stuff. I realized now at 49 years old, I don't enunciate my words properly. And sometimes I be wanting to say things that pop up in my head. The thoughts in my mind be racing so fast, I can't get it out fast enough. And sometimes I stumble over my words. That's autism. Okay. Even though people think that I talk, I sound like, proper and stuff. I'm not. I can just tell you right now, my shit is fucked up. I know it's fucked up, and it drives me crazy in a sense. So, I do weird stuff. I count telephone poles. Like that's since childhood. Like I could be sitting in the back seat or passenger side of the car and just stare out the window, and I'm counting telephone poles. I have an obsession with it. That's since childhood. I have an obsession with I compute numbers off of license plates. I compute numbers everywhere. I'm always adding, numbers. Like if we are in the grocery store, I'm looking at other people's totals when they're totaling up their groceries, and I'm calculating and adding up the total of their groceries. My mind is always doing little stuff like that. That's my autism. Rocking. I like to rock and I like to hum. That is stimming. I can replay. There's songs in my iTunes. I have this whole giant library of music, but every single day I just go to one song or two songs and I replay those two songs. Never mind that I have a giant library. I stay stuck on these two songs. That is stimming, playing some music, the same song over and over again, watching the same show over and over again. You might have a TV show or a specific movie that you can watch 24 hours back to back. You can watch it over and over again. That is autistic stimming. Repeating myself. That's another autistic trait. I can say something one time and not realize that I'm repeating it 5 more times down the line. I do that a lot in my videos. I repeat myself. That's autism. So I hope this video was a bit helpful for you guys. Shout out to those of you, all my moms that have children with autism. I want to tell you, you're doing an amazing job. Keep your baby in therapy. Stop listening to what people's opinions. Don't let your family members talk you out of, what's best for your child. Our parents failed us. We all should have been in therapy when we were young, and our parents were too prideful to do it. So you do what you got to do for your babies. And I want to say to those of you that are late diagnosed, you're just now getting diagnosed, in your late 30s and 40s. I want to say I love you. I'm proud of you for moving forward and getting the diagnosis and doing the work that your parents failed you. Your parents failed you, okay? And you were bullied, for being different. But I'm here to tell you, you're not different, you're unique. You are just the way that God designed you to be. And if your family cannot value you and love you for your unique qualities, fuck them. Fuck your family. Keep going to therapy. Keep living your life on the way that you see fit. And keep learning, doing the research. If you're autistic or ADHD, some of us got both. They call it ADHD when a person has ADHD and autism. Some people have both, but I'm proud of you because it takes a lot of courage to do the work, to become self-aware, to learn yourself, know what your diagnoses are, know that you're not going crazy, know that you were done wrong, you were bullied for being different. Do you, honey, and celebrate yourself today. Shout out to all my autistic folks, my neurodivergents. This has been the Spiritual Whistleblower. The ticket information is down below. I better see your ass Toronto, Boston, and Stamford, Connecticut. Okay, holla at your girl.